Hello. I have for you today something that's out of convention. These are pen pouches that Montblanc offers. I've got a 1 pen pouch, a 2 pen pouch, and a 3 pen pouch. And I'll have a look at them and give you a bit of an opinion. Now, straight off I'm going to tell you that I don't use these. I've got them, but I don't use them because they're not particularly convenient, in my opinion, and they've got a few limitations that I think Montblanc should probably address. So this is the first one. This is simply just a basic Westside 1 pen pouch. It's easy enough to take care of, keep clean. But the design of it is with this flap like this is not particularly easy for quick use. The other thing is, if I could give an example, for larger pens, it's a bit tight, and I'm not particularly a fan of the way that it tends to rub on the top of the Montblanc emblem. It's not particularly soft, keeps its shape. Obviously it'll protect your pen, and since you should be storing your pen upright like this in a pocket or in a briefcase, I don't think there's much chance that you're going to damage this part of the pen with keys because it is obviously exposed. That's not what I'd prefer, to have the pen exposed, especially this upper part, but it's one of the options that they have. So a single pen pouch obviously has the advantage that takes up less space, and you're not likely to run into the trouble that you have with the other pen pouches. I'll get to that in a second. So this is the 3 pen pouch, just a leather pen pouch. So different grain structure, just plain leather. But once again, this mechanism for closing is, I think, just too cumbersome, not easy to get out. The problem with these multiple pen pouches is that there's nothing really that separates the pens from each other. We've got these 2 little languettes here that work to keep them apart at the top, but they only go about an inch deep, and then further down the pens are able to rub against each other. That means that anything you put in here is going to be scratched by the next thing you put in there. So I think that's probably the biggest flaw for any multiple pen pouches offered by Montblanc. It's not as bad, it's a bit larger than the single pen pouch, more accommodating, and I'd probably never store more than 2 pens in here on either sides of the etui. I'm pretty sure this is going to wear out pretty quickly because it's going to fold a lot on these spots, and these edges are going to get damaged pretty quickly because they're quite hard. So nice design for storing them in your drawer, in your desk, but not very convenient to carry. The third option is a double pen pouch with soft grain leather. So this one's a bit better, certainly a lot nicer when it comes to the leather, but still has the same problem that you're storing 2 pens together without any type of separation. So for what it is, it's pretty bulky. It lets you store multiple things in it in addition to the pens, but by far it's so much nicer than the other pen pouches in terms of the leather. The soft grain leather is really a nice addition. And of course there's a big bonus that the zipper is not made of metal. That was probably the biggest limitation to the other zipped compartment pen pouches that they have. Soft inside, and access is not the easiest, and as you can see it's a bit tight, and it'll get looser once you sort of use it a lot. It's a bit tight for these large 149 pens. Really having to push it in there, so it's not quite good enough for a larger caliber pen. But yeah, definitely works like that. But once again, not something you're going to be carrying around in your pocket for your pens. So there you have it. 3 options by Montblanc for carrying and storing your pens. And I'd say all 3 of them flawed because of designs and material. I personally use something that you might laugh at. It's basically a sheath made of synthetic felt. Quite easy to wash, maintain, and takes absolutely no room. You can get them made by whatever you'd call it, somebody on Etsy. Easy enough with the drawstring, so you sort of have no space lost. It's easy to put in your pocket. It's protected all the way, and you end up with no worries about scratches and damage. And oddly enough, the synthetic felt works to polish the barrel, and actually I've seen that it's not scratched any barrels. So unless you've got sand in there, you're pretty safe. So synthetic felt, I think, is really the way to go to protect the precious resin of these pens. It's robust enough to withstand keys and other sharp objects, but soft enough so that it's really nice to have in the pocket. Ridiculous, but convenient and useful, especially compared to what they're offering in stores. Beautiful products to sit on a desk, but I can imagine they're going to wear out pretty quickly and get tired of using them pretty quickly as well.